Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, The Mondesir Critique. I'm Pascal, and in today's video, I am going to be reviewing the much anticipated end, or maybe end, of the Guardians of the Galaxy movies as we know them. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is directed by James Gunn, and it stars Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Bradley Cooper, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan, Pom Klementieff, and many more people. Guardians is a jam-packed movie that covers so many themes. Friendship, the quest for perfection, running from your past, moving on from heartbreak, PETA violations, you name it, this movie has it all. The film picks up after the Guardians' brief appearance in Thor: Love and Thunder and following the events in Avengers: Endgame. Peter Quill is still a mess over Gamora's death, and then resurrection, and then disappearance, and the rest of the crew is just trying to move on with their new realities. Until a superpower robot being called Adam Warlock, played by Will Poulter, bursts through their planet looking for Rocket. We've known very few details about Rocket's traumatic past as some sort of animal testy subject, but this movie decides to use his arc as the main storyline. When Rocket was a baby, some god or wannabe god whose name I have to look up, the High Revolutionary, was on a quest to create a civilization filled with the most perfect, superior human beings. He's now tracking Rocket because he needs him for his perfect world plan. I really enjoyed Guardians 3. Every MCU film since Endgame has left me pretty disappointed because I'm just not that interested in the next phase of the MCU and these new characters. The 10 years between Iron Man and Endgame was golden, from the storytelling to casting to the novelty of it all, and I'm just not feeling it with these new people. I do have MCU superhero fatigue. But this was fun because it felt like an appropriate farewell or ending to this fun, light, bright gang of intergalactic weirdos. First off, any movie about the power of friendship is gonna be amazing. Quill, Gamora, Nebula, Drax, Mantis, and Rocket all have biological families that either passed away or were very awful, to say the least, but they found each other and clung together. This entire movie's plot is driven by the need to save one of their own, and they don't even second guess it. I was scratching my head a bit at the decision to make Rocket the true emotional center of the movie, and I'll get to that a bit later. But as soon as someone said, "Let's go save our friend," I immediately was like, okay, no, yeah, this is gonna be a great movie and super sweet and just plain fun. Like I said before, Marvel really struck gold with its casting for the first 10 years. All of the principal cast here are very good comedic actors, and Guardians movies, you know, always have these naturally funny and absurd jokes that just work with the absurdity of the films in the trilogy. And the cast was definitely up to the task, bringing their charm and sarcastic attitudes to these characters. I also really appreciate how straightforward it is. The plot is simple, everyone's motives are simple, and the villain makes sense to what he's doing, and it just felt like a standalone movie, which are the best kind of Marvel movies in my opinion. The first Iron Man obviously set up years of content to come, but it was also just an excellent, tight, simple superhero movie that could have been a one-off. And Guardians felt like a really good bookend to just a fun series. And I also won't spoil it, but I really thought that Gamora's storyline here was perfect for her. It made a lot of sense to her character's temperament and development, and it doesn't try to shoehorn in a reality that wouldn't work for her. The emotional beats of all the characters were really good and earned, despite them being an unserious, misfit group of friends. All of them truly have traumatic histories that were given space here for sure. But for some reason, they gave the bulk of these emotional scenes to Rocket, and that just didn't really gel with me. My real issue was the extended background flashback scenes with Rocket during the years he was being experimented on. Rocket is a CGI live-action talking raccoon voiced by Bradley Cooper. Unlike the others, it is not a human with a painted face, but a whole walking, talking raccoon. And I just struggled with having him leading the emotional center of the movie. I don't know. Why do they make that decision? Why not have like a human step into this major important beat? I just wanted to see humans and the humanoids having those emotional beats on screen rather than a style of animation where you can hardly see the emotional impact on their faces. I am one of those people who is weirded out and kind of against the live action remakes of these beloved animated movies because there's just no replacing animation that brings human features to life on an animal, and it just doesn't hit the same with this kind of CGI photorealism. You want to know when I teared up? When Peter Quill and Mantis were having emotional scenes. You want to know when I had absolutely no feelings? Watching two CGI animals attempt to kiss and nuzzle each other. It doesn't work for me. I also felt like the flashbacks were repetitive history. We knew that Rocket was experimented on simply because he had the misfortune of being born an animal, but we all know and understand that that is unbelievably cruel, and he suffered from it because he never talked about it. It just seemed really unnecessary to have us go back in time and see what we already knew, especially since some of those scenes didn't even include the villain. It felt like a rehash that offered no true insight, so that also didn't work for me. And I will say this movie is pretty violent, but there weren't too many large choreographed action scenes that we're used to in superhero movies, and that just felt really notable to me as well. But these are truly my only nitpicks with Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It has heart, it is funny, and it's a crowd pleaser. Also, I hope I'm saying his name right, Chukwudi Iwuji plays the High Revolutionary as if it's this great Shakespearean character, and it is very good to watch on screen. Volume 3 truly works as a closed chapter of the very long, seemingly never-ending book that is the MCU. I know the only people who are still interested in keeping up with these movies and TV series and specials are true Marvel Cinematic Universe fans. I am speaking to you guys, so I don't even have to recommend this. I'm sure you all have probably seen it twice already by now. And that is the Mondasier Critique. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you guys later.